guess what? It's time for bed. Okay, maybe that's not always the most exciting thing in the world, but at least we have a story tonight, and I'm excited because we have some really cool things that Rocky is going to be doing, even if he is not the brightest coyote in the desert. Okay, are y'all tucked in? Ready? Okay, tonight I want you to listen for the color purple, tag, and Krav Maga. All right. Now tonight our story begins with Rocky and Valorie sitting on the edge of the cliff looking out over the desert and watching the beautiful sunset. And it was a spectacular sunset. It was all orangey and red and purple. It was beautiful. And you know how it is when you're with your BFF. You don't always have to talk to each other. You just kind of sit and enjoy each other's company. Well, that's the way it was for Valorie and for Rocky. They were sitting there quietly, just thinking. And Rocky was thinking about how awesome his life was now that he had Valorie for his BFF. There's a rule in the desert, you know, that if you're the rattlesnake, everybody respects the rattlesnake. Nobody messes with a rattlesnake, ever. And if you happen to be a friend of a rattlesnake, nobody messes with you either. So this was great. For the first time in his life, Rocky was getting respect. I mean, he was now Mr. Rocky. And he kind of liked that. And you know, his self-esteem was getting better too. He even made an appointment at the dog groomers. And he went in and got himself a good flea bath. And then they fluffed up his tail and they gave him a nice little petty. And they combed out those whiskers. And you know, Rocky was one fine looking coyote now. Yeah, it was a whole new world now that Valorie was his BFF. Valorie was sitting there and she was thinking how awesome her life was now that Rocky was her BFF. You know, being a rattlesnake can be just a little lonely sometimes. Not everybody wants to be your friend. Okay, she understood that. But it was so nice to have Rocky around. And he was so cool. He would let her wrap herself around his neck like a necklace, and she would ride around while he was lopping through the desert. And instead of having to crawl on the ground, she was way up high now. And she would use her little snake tongue, and she could smell smells she had never smelled before. And the desert was so pretty from way up there. She'd just never seen it like that. It was like a whole new world now that she had Rocky for her BFF. And, you know, they just did fun things together. Not only did they do the puzzles, they would play tag and they would play hide and go seek. One day they were out playing hide and go seek, and you know Valorie, she's got this great camouflage. All she was doing was just stretched out there on the desert sand. Rocky didn't even see her. He tripped right over her, and the two of them got the giggles so bad they couldn't even walk. It was so funny. It was like, oh my goodness. So yeah, they were totally loving being friends. But But while they were sitting there looking at this great sunset, Rocky said to Valorie, "You know, Valorie, I always wondered about that horizon out there. You think there's something better out there?" "You know, I don't know, Rocky. I've never been anywhere else." "You know, back in the day before I had any friends, I used to come out here by myself at night and I'd look out over the vast desert. And you know, it's kind of weird. Sometimes I would see this light glowing out there. I never knew what it was." "Rocky, did you see that light maybe once a year?" "Well, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to that. It was just kind of pretty." "You know what it is? You think it's UFOs?" "No, Rocky, I don't think it's UFOs. But I kind of think that I do know what it is. Have you ever heard of Burning Man?" "Huh?" "Yeah, Burning Man. It's like this thing that humans do in the desert. They do it once a year, and then I don't know, I think they just have a lot of fun, and then they burn this big wooden thing. That might be what you were seeing." "Oh, yeah, that could have been it. Yeah." "Valorie, you know what? We should totally go to Burning Man. Wouldn't that be awesome? That would be like an adventure, and I love adventures. And now that I got a friend, yeah, we could go." "No, Rocky, I don't think that would be a very good idea." "Why not?" "Well, you know, it's like this thing with humans. They don't really like rattlesnakes." "Well, why not?" "Well, they always think that we're gonna bite them, and then it's really dangerous. You know, they could even kill me or something." Well, this was really hard for Rocky to understand. You know, as far as he was concerned, he couldn't understand how anyone would not like Valorie. I mean, she was by far the nicest creature he had ever met. Definitely the smartest creature he'd ever met. And, probably even the best looking creature he'd ever met. So this was really hard for his fuzzy little coyote brain to figure that anybody might not be nice to Valorie. He thought about it for a minute. "Valorie, I have a great idea. Yeah, this is what we could totally do. Okay, all right. You know what? When I was at the dog groomers, I saw these dogs were wearing this thing around their neck. I think they called it I don't know, collar or something. You know how you ride around my neck? You could be like a collar, and nobody would ever even know you were there. I mean, they'd think you were I was wearing this really cool diamond studded collar, I would be so cool. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what we could do. And then, if anybody ever said anything or tried to hurt you, I'd take care of them. Because I don't think a lot of people know this. I know Krav Maga, and I'm dangerous." And then just for effect, He curled his lip a little bit. Oh, wow. Rocky, that's a really good idea. You'd do that for me?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I think we could do it.
You know, Rocky, I think you're really smart. The next time I hear somebody say, Rocky's not the smartest coyote in the desert, I might just have to bite them. Well, that really made Rocky feel good. So, the two of them decided that they were definitely going to go to Burning Man. Now, that's the end of our story for tonight. Now, tomorrow night, we'll continue our story and we'll talk about them getting ready to go. But what about our moral tonight? Now, if you're Rocky the Coyote, he would probably say,
well, when you go to the groomer, you have to be really nice, because even when they're combing out your whiskers and stuff, you can't bite the groomer, okay?
But that's not really the moral of our story. We know that the real moral of this story is that friends take care of friends. All right, you guys have sweet dreams. We'll see you in the morning. Good night.